All right. Hello, everybody. I welcome you all to our March Madness series, and it will be basically geared towards mindset this month. Mindset. As an African American black woman, I want this to be an annihilation of the angry black woman series, just the beginning of many things that we can definitely reclaim. And the reason why we're talking about mindset this month is because a lot of minds are being troubled. A lot of different thought process and thought patterns are haunting people and stressing a lot of women out necessarily. And I want to, hit these areas head on through the power and the word of God. And Mondays, a lot of people drag and hate Mondays. When you think about Monday, you think about people going to work. You think about people having to deal with responsibilities that they maybe just was trying to just put off as long as they can. That's why they couldn't wait till the weekend. But now, hey, we got to face reality. The rubber is meeting the road, and now we're super excited about beginning to challenge certain mindsets, beginning to channel and challenge certain thinking, to elevate our mindsets, to expand our mindsets, because a lot of times when you're going through different things, whether it's struggle or triumphs, you really don't realize how small you were thinking when you may have been in a downward position, or a situation that may had you feeling defeated or doom and gloom. And now what we have the opportunity to do is have different conversations, bring forth different levels of teaching, so that way you can be able to understand and apply these practical principles to your everyday living, so that way you can overcome certain things, you can come out of certain things, you can be delivered from certain things, set free from certain things, healed from certain things. So let's dive in. Of course, you guys, I am Tiffany. Empire and impact is what I'm all about. I do that through education. I do it through relationships. I do it through life coaching, business coaching, in a practical way. I do it with the youth. I do it with women. Women are very dear to my heart, but I am about my father's business, and community development is very important. So I do have mentorships, opportunities, different training opportunities, and different resources available. But again, it is March. We're going to tackle mindset, and I'm super excited about all and what I learned about March and March Madness is NBA games, a lot of different things going on. And anybody that gets in the game or know the rule of thumb in the game, you play, but everybody don't play to win. I play to win, and I'm ready to see other people live and win in a victorious way. So let's get ready to slam dunk. Let's get ready to make some touchdowns. Let's get ready to call some flags, even on play. So let's talk about it. One of the things, with the March being Women's Month, a lot of mental issues are arising, and a lot of people are definitely stressed out. So, through these teachings, I'm expecting reports of deliverance and healing to take place inside out. Um, so let's dive right on in. I wanted to definitely make aware that some of the things that we're about to begin to expose and talk about, God was telling me that we're in agreement with certain things, that we must come out of a contractual agreement with whatever the issue may be. So if you've accepted the report that the doctor gave you, and it was not the report that the Lord has given you, because God wants us to live in dominion. He sent his son so that way we can have power. He sent his son, and by he who was bruised, his son Jesus, he was bruised, he was beaten. He went through all the things that mankind will have to experience, so that way we could have the right to speak to certain things, certain mountains, certain issues, certain sickness, certain diseases, and it be what God wants it to be versus what the report of man or what the report of enemy wants it to be. And I don't know about you all, but whose report do you want to believe? So mindset is going to deal with a lot of thoughts, thought processes, and coming out of agreement with a lot of, I thought the recording had stopped, with a lot of things that we've agreed with, things people have spoken over us, into us, and we've agreed with it, whether we know we've done it subconsciously or consciously. We've agreed with it, and now it's time to break the chains of that agreement, so that way we can begin to walk in agreement with what God has spoken over our life. So we have different, if you see me look down, it's because I have my workbook right here. We have, when you think about the mind can be a very busy place. It can be a cluttered place. It could be a very creative place. It could be a very idle place. If you ever heard the saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And that is so true, because if you find yourself, whether you're an adult, a child, but we can use the example of a childlike mind as well. When you really didn't have anything to do, or you wasn't, you had some free time. A lot of children find themselves getting into mischief. You find yourself just doing something, and sometimes your parent will say, well, what made you do that? And all you can say is, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have nothing to do, or I was bored. Yeah, you was bored because you did not have anything for that mind to put to work, and it decided to do something, to be busy, to be destructive versus constructive versus productive. And if we're not mindful, we will produce unfruitful, unpositive thinking, which is negative thinking, versus being more positive, being more fruitful, having more clarity, having more insight. When we're not sure of what it is we're producing inside and feeding our minds. Now, one way that we also communicate and build our relationships is through our mindset and thought process as well. So, have you ever found yourself in a relationship or communicating with someone, and it was like either they were a drag in conversation, meaning they thoughts a lot of time may be scrambled, so they don't know how to maybe effectively get out what they're saying? Then you can have someone that rambles a lot, and it's coming out, but you can tell that it's not processed and filtered through. This is why mindset is a thought process. Mindset is also a place of a heart posture, meaning because out of the mouth flows the issues of our heart. So a lot of times people think that your mind is not necessarily connected to your heart, when all reality they both have a mind of their own. And your brain is not your mind. Your mind is your thoughts, your beliefs, how you think, how you've been groomed, what you've thrown away, what you've accepted as truth. And then your heart, it filters and speaks what you feel, what you're thinking. And if you're not mindful, you'll say and express what you're thinking, and it may not be from such a positive place or a pure place, but whatever comes out, that's your mouth, that's where you're at. And a lot of times the judgment, if you think about relationships, whether it's an intimate relationship or a maternal or paternal relationship. What's going on? I can't hear that sound.
Hello, I want to place an order.
You either need to put this on or take this to the table. You can take it in the living room. You can go around there with it. Is the black phone charging?
Yes. Yes, but it died.
Is it charging? If it's not charging, then bring it to me.
Yes.
Go ahead. You can hold that. Bring me the black phone because you're not going to keep my phone. So, do you have it?
No.
Okay. And bring me the black phone, then I'll put it on the charger for you. So, again, with the relationships, a lot of times poor judgment is given in certain relationships, especially this thing what we're calling and identifying as toxic relationships, because you're like, why can't I do this? Why my heart why I know what I should be doing, but my heart, it wants me to do something else. Or when I think with my mind, it breaks my heart because my heart wants to do this. But once you've learned from a mistake, sometimes you can't listen to what your heart want to do, especially if your heart is being broken by an individual, a particular situation, or your heart is just, it'll leave you broken by the particular situation of the individual. That's when you got to know and how to be able to use judgment, know where the thoughts are coming from, know if it's pure, know if it's wise, know if it's foolish, just beginning to learn and understand what to do with these particular thoughts. It could bless your life. It can help you understand and have a better perspective of what is really going on. So, one of the ways we can learn to understand how to communicate is to begin with realizing what is actually happening around us in that moment. In that particular moment, what is going on, what is happening from moment to moment. Why do we think random thoughts? Are they really random? And again, thoughts can be conscious, unconsciously thoughts. And a lot of times we don't understand that even when we're asleep in an unconscious state, that our spirits are still getting fed. That's why they say, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. So whether you woke or sleep, it is something ministering to your spirit, because when you think about it, we have thoughts, we have a thought pattern, we have thought processes, we have what you call ministering angels. Angels come in, angels of light, angels of darkness. And then if you're not mindful of what's being fed to your spirit, then don't be surprised if your thinking is all over the place. Don't be surprised if your heart is all over the place. Your emotions is all over the place. Your soulish behavior is just all over the place. All right, I had to check that. So, ask yourself, what are some examples of what are some things that you could think about or look at in a better light? Or what are some things that are troubling you in your mind? What are some things that are positive and you look forward to, and it lights you up in your mind and your thought process, like just the thought of you, not even you speaking, just your thoughts that come to you. What is a thought that just puts you in this like happy place? What is a thought that brings you down, puts you in this doom and gloom place? What are those thoughts, and what does that thought do to you? Like, how does it make you feel? Do you like that feeling? Would you prefer to feel better about that particular situation or that particular thought? Is it anything that you can do to change it? And did that thought stem from the past? Did that thought stem from the past? If you need to get a notebook or a journal, feel free. What I'm going to do is bring in the definition of mindset. And mindset, it is the established set of attitudes held by someone. So it's an attitude. It's an attitude. I love that. I love this definition. Mindset. And what else stood out to me? Established. Established stood out to me. We're going to look up that word. Held by someone. Someone meaning this is your own. This is your own thought. This is your own set. In your mind, it is set there. And established means having to be in existence for a long time, therefore recognized. Well known. It says recognized and generally accepted. Planted. Your mindset governs your actions. It governs you. How you think about a thing. How you perceive a thing. Oh my goodness, this is good. This is good. This is good. Well known. Accepted. That means your mindset is what you accept as truth. Now, this is where coming out of agreement with some things are going to be very vital, very important, very key. Because if you accept a lie, meaning the enemy's lie, Satan is the father of lies. He cannot tell the truth if he wanted to. Meaning so many people has accepted the lies of Satan. Whether you know that you may have accepted him to be your father and unintentionally allow him to be the Lord over your choices, your actions, and different things like that. That's why it's so important that we allow Jesus Christ to be Lord, because when you allow him to be Lord, then you accept the promises of God. You accept the abundance of God. You accept the plan of God over your life, and you come out of contractual agreement with the enemy and his lies, meaning you have to personally make up in your mind that you want the mind of Christ, that you want to operate in the will of Christ, that you want to be aligned with Christ, and you want to come out of anything that is not in the will of God for your life, for your mind, concerning your thoughts, concerning your the government of your body, the government of your household, the government of just how you operate. This is blessing me. And again, mental health is at an all-time high. People would rather come into agreement with that they have a mental issue, and they will accept the diagnosis of man over the diagnosis and the prescription that God has given us to let us know what type of mind that we need to have, and knowing that if we resist the enemy that he will flee, knowing that we need to cast every care, every thought, every imagination, knowing that we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but by the blood of Christ, by the blood of the Lamb, that we can overcome anything. That's an attitude. That's where it comes in. Mindset is an attitude. It's an established attitude, meaning this is what I think. This is what I believe. I don't care what comes. I don't care what may be, what thought it was. I know what it is. That's an attitude. That's a stance all by itself. Come on. I don't gotta pass no collection plate, because guess what? Jesus already paid it all. Jesus already paid it all. Your freedom has already been paid. You have already been bought with a price. Do you hear me? Mindset. It is key to establishing your attitude this month, this day, this season, and who God has called you to be and how God has called you to operate. Nothing else. It don't matter what your mama and them has said, what your daddy and them has said, what your old church member and them has said, what your old leaders in them has said. It don't matter what has been said and spoken over your life. Your new attitude needs to be, I believe whatever the report of the Lord has said and spoken over me and my children's life. And I choose to come out of agreement with every lie that has been spoken, and I settled for that acceptance of that false prophecy. Hello, somebody. We call it, y'all know, hey, I don't mind calling a flag on play. So that way we can begin to gain the yards and the ground that we need to begin to take the territory that we need to. Oh, we coming out of agreement with certain things, certain lies, and certain generational curses. Oh, yes, we are. So, again, before I get ready to wrap this up, one of the things that I did say earlier in this series, the death of the angry black woman. I want to wrap up in that. And I use anger because at the end of the day, listen, in the Word of God, we have permission to be angry. But the goal is to sin not. We have permission to operate in the humanness of us. But the goal is to sin not. And the goal is to operate with the dominion and the power and the authority that God has given us. So I say the death of the angry black woman, meaning there is a hold on this woman that don't want her to rise up and be free. I believe that in anger and misused and abused anger can turn into a detrimental and an established mindset that don't give you authority, but it has you in bondage. It has you holding back, being held up. And when we allow that woman, that angry woman, that don't know how or what to do and how to fuel and funnel and filter the anger, if we don't get rid of her, she will get rid of us. And if we don't want to die in anger, in bitterness, in stress, in mess, and a lot of things that just don't come from God, then we got to be willing to lay her down. So that way we can rise. We gotta rise. We gotta rise up. And it starts in our mindset. It starts in our mindset. It starts in our mind. It starts in our mind. Any change, any transformation, any victory, any overcoming, any breakthroughs, when it happens here, let me tell you, you thinking you dope right now. You thinking you're powerful right now. It is nothing like a breakthrough in your mind. It's nothing like a mental breakthrough. Why do you think that God tells us to put on our helmet of salvation? Like, Lord, help them save their minds. Because this is the place where the enemy likes to play. This is the place where the enemy wants you to seem like, let me run them out of their mind. Let me drive them crazy so they can be thinking about how to pay the bills, thinking about how to raise the kids, thinking about how to be beautiful, thinking about how to do this, how to do that, how to do. And then you like, and then the enemy have you in bondage. I could just picture some people, they may not have a physical stray jacket on. That's what they call a physical stray jacket on. But think about it. You're fighting and you're wrestling and you're trying to get out and you're trying to... And then some people, they lose their fight. They lose their fight. and they go into a slump. They go into a place of a deep sleep, a deep rest. They lose their fight. They lose it. But I believe that God wants us to be free, be loose, rise up. And it starts in our mind. It starts in our mind. Outside of our hands, looking, which is seeing, tasting, smelling, and hearing. 4 of the senses are right here on our head, y'all. 4 of our senses out of the 5. Look, touch, taste, feel, hear, touching. I'm touching with my hands. If your mind gone, if this part of your body is no good to you, think about it. Even the brain, if it don't have oxygen, it's dead. And your brain is not necessarily your mind. Our brain is actually an organism. But we have thoughts, not just in our brain, but in our heart too. These organs work hand in hand. So now it's time for us to be intentional. Now, I want y'all to understand how to make it make sense. Meaning, mental health is connected to self-care, self-love. Understand that God is love. Understand that your mindset is your mind. Who do you want to govern your mind? What thoughts do you want to govern your thoughts? Who do you want to govern your thoughts? And this is just one of many. This is just the beginning. So make sure that you tell me, how did you like this lesson on Mindset Monday, because we are reclaiming our pearls, girl. One thing I do know, as God has been giving me different things, because we have a dynasty for queens, a city, a family. A dynasty, that's a family. And that's where we talk life, business, ministry, different things like that. And when you understand, some people never get to that level because of their mindset. Some people never even believe that God got more for them because of their mindset. So we got to address and have the conversations on whatever level you're on without you feeling intimidated or overwhelmed trying to process it all. Because it can be a lot to process something when you're already clouded and stressed out and just agitated, aggravated, just don't know which way to go and feel like all you're doing is going through the motions and you just don't know how to break out. You don't know how to break free. So that's why we're going to do these conversations. We're going to do these teachings. All of March, definitely. We'll have another, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have at least about a total of 4. We might have 5. All of these lessons are going to be geared towards mindset, but each day I will be bringing a lesson, whether it's in a regular form or a testimonial approach, and it will still give perspective on thought process and stuff like that. So I want to hear your response. Let me know. Again, I am Tiffany. Empower, Impact, Ignite. Make sure y'all are intentional about reclaiming your pearls, girl. I'm super excited about what March has in store for us. Make sure that you're connected on Facebook with me in the Reclaim Your Pearls, girl. If you are a woman, if you are a man, especially a black man, we do have the empowerment group. What about the black man? So thank you all so much. Make sure you connect. And you can find more on iamtiffany.org.